Hello and welcome. You're here to learn about the process in which to buy a home in Northeast Florida. My name's Nicole Smith. I'm a realtor here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm here to share with you how you can negotiate the journey to home ownership. Thank you so much. So today's objective is for you to feel confident negotiating the best deal on a property without having to give up your firstborn child and your left arm. My name is Nicole Smith. As I already stated, I've been selling real estate since 2020, and something about me that you may not know is I've been living in Jacksonville since 2014. My passion is traveling, so I work hard to help people achieve their dreams so I can travel, because that's one of my lifetime dreams, is to continually travel. I'm also Canadian, and I made the choice to move to Jacksonville, Florida for the weather and for a new experience. I've worked with clients who've moved here from New York, from Georgia, from Connecticut, all over the country. I've helped people move here, and I've helped first-time home buyers. I also help senior citizens. It's one of the passions I have, is helping people get into the right size home to fit their needs. And if they're interested in living in 55 and over communities, I love that. I like to tour all those types of neighborhoods so I can find out what's best suited for their needs. And it's really exciting for me to help first-time home buyers as well, because I feel like owning real estate is one of the biggest and best decisions you can make for your family and for your what you can pass on from generation to generation and start creating generational wealth. So I'm excited that you're here. Being here is helping you decide to make the right decision and learning about home ownership and how it gets done. First, let's talk about misconceptions. I shouldn't show my emotions when I'm negotiating. Emotional creatures. Well, we are definitely emotional creatures as humans. We naturally emote emotions, and buying a home can be very emotional. And logic makes us think, and emotion makes us act. And just as this is overwhelming for you, the seller feels the same way. And an emotional connection is one of the most powerful ways to negotiate and get what you want. The people around me are great advice givers when it comes to real estate. That might be true, but you have to know if they know what they're talking about. The people around us have the best intentions and want to protect us, but aren't necessarily armed with enough information to be great advisors in real estate. Even people you know may own some properties. If they didn't buy in the same market as you, their advice isn't relevant likely now. Keep that in mind. Home buying is scary. Well, it doesn't have to be. Just like when kids are afraid of the dark, home buying is only scary when you have no idea what you're doing. After this workshop, you'll be armed with more information than most people and will be confident and comfortable going into the purchase process. I have to worry about getting screwed over. Well, let's say right now, Contract writing, we're going to cover all the ways the contract is written to protect you and to keep you from getting screwed over in the transaction. Rising prices. Searches for the phrase when is the housing market going to crash are up 2.45% over the past month. Similarly, Americans are searching in droves for explanations about why the housing market is so hot and why home prices are rising. This is from Google and MarketWatch. Recession, housing crisis. Home prices changed during the last 5 recessions. Let me go back. So in 1990, 6.1%, 1981, 3.5%. They went down in 1991 by 1.9%. They went up 6.6% in 2001, and then they went down in 2008. So home prices have appreciated during the 3 of the last 5 recessions. So that gives you a great sense of security. This is not 2008. So when 2008 was here, it was based on really, really bad mortgages. And that's what happened. It was bad mortgages, and that is not happening now. We've learned our lesson, and that is no longer happening. So strong housing demand is also pandemic related. And what that means is there's more houses than there's not. I mean, there are more houses that are needed versus home houses that are available. So there is more of a need for people to get homes, and there's not enough homes for them to get. So that's why this is not going to be a 2008. We are not, in my opinion, on our way to any kind of recession, and especially affecting the real estate. Where buyer demand comes from. With banks being so careful, the demand seen in the housing market today is much more organic, and the lifestyle changes brought about the pandemic is not the only reason why demand has surged. Current demand is built on significant growing demographic wave. As we have many millennials turning 30, a key age for first-time home buying. The common wisdom in real estate is that people are primarily motivated to buy a house, not because of low interest rates or the investment potential, but because of life changes. Millennials are the largest generation, and they are getting married and having kids. As they experience these major milestones, owning a home is becoming a bigger priority. The demand for housing also triggered a building craze last year. We saw a 12% gain in the construction on single-family home. Dietz said the sudden increase in home building activity has since caused a surge in the prices for lumber, driving up the prices of new homes even higher. Jobs recovering faster than prior recessions. As you can see the chart here, 2020 employment recession, then it surged. 2000 employment recession, you can see that went up there. This is not happening. Unemployment. We have the highest unemployment? No, we have the lowest unemployment right now. We don't have to worry about unemployment. There are fewer people losing jobs now and are unemployed. The numbers are staggering. It's unbelievable how many people are getting jobs, and we're not having a high unemployment right now. affordability. So the mortgage rates did drop, and now we see that they're going up slightly. But that doesn't mean you can't afford a home. You can start at a lower amount home based upon your credit score and what their interest rates are. And no, I do not have a crystal ball, so I do know what the interest rates are going to be. But I know that they are better than paying 100% interest, and that's what you're doing when you're paying for rent and not getting any equity. So the difference your interest rate makes. You work hard for the money and you spend on housing. So if you wanted to keep the mortgage payment under $1,000, here is the prices of your home. If you're at a 3.8, you can afford this. If interest rates go up to 8.29, you can only afford this. If interest rates are at 12.22, you can only afford this. So yes, interest rates do matter. The summary of the market. So for every 2 houses that were on the market pre-COVID, now there's 1. Forbearances are not expected to yield tons of foreclosures, and the Great Recession was called great for a reason. It's once a century. We had a shortage of inventory for a long time, and we still do. The negotiation process. What we'll cover: 1, when to start shopping; 2, finding the right property; 3, getting your offer accepted; 4, protecting yourself from getting screwed over; and 5, taking advantage of the due diligence period. Timing your purchase. The average buyer sees about 5 to 7 homes before they find the one they love. Multiple offers are a very real reality. And right now, if it's a really great house, you will still find it even today. Negotiations that can take a day or they can take several days in more complex transaction. And a closing can take about 30 days and up to 45 days. Some are faster, just depends on their circumstances. How many of you are renters with leases? Let me know in the comments or email me if you're watching this recording after. I want to know how many of you are renters with leases. If your lease is ending, my lease ends October 15th, for an example. Unlike rent, your mortgage is paid after the month. You pay for October on November 1st. When you close, you'll pay interest for the remainder of the month at closing. Confirm with your lender when your first payment is due. Confirm with your lender when your first payment is due. I already said that. That's hilarious. You can take time so you can close well before your lease ends and not leave with 2 house payments. You can generally close even earlier if you paid your last month's rent up front. So for example, if your lease ends October 15th, and you close your property on September 15th, you close your property but gives you less time to move for delays. November 1st, this is your first mortgage payment, and your first mortgage payment is November 1st. So basically, you have to work your calendar backwards. If you know your lease is ending then, you have to give notice. So you have to have a plan of when you're going to move, what your lease is stating and indicating when you have to give them notice, and work your calendar backwards to start looking for homes and getting into the pre-approval process. So step 0, get ready, get really pre-qualified. 1, don't go with your usual bank. Figure out your cash to close monthly payment before you start shopping. Make sure the lender can get you an approval, and good credit isn't good enough. You need to know what type of loan, down payment you can afford, because you have to factor in taxes, you have to factor in mortgage insurance, and sometimes you're going to have to factor in HOA or CDD fees. If you went to the doctor's office with a headache and they threw you on the surgery table without any questions, would you panic? I know I would. So let me know in the comments, or if you're watching this recording after, you can always let me know in the comments also. So yes, you're not going to let a doctor throw you on a surgery table when all you came in there was with a headache. So a buyer consultation is imperative. It's imperative for us to get together. That's the equivalent of shopping before sitting down and having a real conversation with your agent. It's not just about the 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath in such and such city, because if it was, you'd buy the first one you saw. It's about buying a lifestyle, a community, a neighborhood, and so much more. Being proactive will help prepare you for the process and help your agent better represent you during the transaction and understand your wants and needs. Having a great team. Here's just a few examples of having a great team, and I happen to have a great team, so you would be well taken care of. Finding great deals. So limited portal sites, they will charge you fees, and sometimes they'll only give you a limited amount of information. But with my search, we go on the MLS and we customize your search to exactly what you're looking for. Your search is private and only seen by your agent and updated as soon as the property status updates. So if someone puts a new listing in at 5 in the morning, when you turn on your computer, you're going to see a new update of that listing in your email. That's how the MLS search works. And it's something we work together on to get you into the neighborhoods you want with the criteria you're looking for. And we will customize that search just for you. So proceed with caution. I want you to be aware that only about 2% of buyers buy an open house they see. Agents use open houses to collect leads and to add you to their follow-up campaign. So sign in your agent's info instead of your own. This is something that you need to be aware of if you are out looking at open houses and your agent isn't with you. An FSBO, that's a FSBO. That stands for for sale by owners. They're generally listing their home without much experience, and they're typically overpriced. They seem to think that they can get more money for their home than they actually can. And they don't know how to negotiate the transaction. They don't know anything about it. It would be very dangerous for you to contact a FSBO without a realtor, because the realtor actually knows way more about a transaction than a for sale by owner. New construction, this is something else I want to caution you. I know you get very tempted when you're driving by and you see signs, come see this new construction community. They really want to grab you. And the one thing about them, you need to have your realtor present with you when you go there. Register your agent. If you don't do that, there is no way your agent can negotiate on your behalf. They will not be able to represent you. Therefore, you'll only be represented from the real estate agent that the builder has hired. So think about that and know that you always want to be represented by a realtor when you're touring new construction. Don't go there without your realtor. Once you're in a property, these are the things you have to look at. Flow. Does a floor plan flow the way you want? Grow. Is there room to grow? Stow. Is there spaces to store your belongings? Show. How does the neighborhood show? And pro. What is it priced by? Was it priced by a pro? You have to think about those in this format. And that's another reason you want your realtor with you, to keep you on track of what you discussed at your buyer's consultation. Sometimes we see things and you're not thinking all the way through of what you actually said you wanted in a property. Multiple offer situation checklist. In this market, multiple offers are still a very real thing. So you have to be prepared to write multiple offers and move quickly. Make the inspection for information purposes only. If the property is owned by a resident, write a letter about how much the house means to you. Offer to pay for the title insurance. Your agent, which is me, we have to follow the instructions and build rapport with the listing agent, and make sure that you're fully qualified with your letter from your lender, letting them know that you have a pre-approval. Handwrite a letter to the seller about why you love the property so much, and guaranteed to pay above appraised value. These are just some of the ways you can really try to hedge your bet on multiple offers. You don't have to follow all of them. These are just suggestions, but these are some of the things that people you are competing against in multiple offers will do. And you have to see if that's something you feel comfortable with. Master due diligence. Recognize wear and tear versus material defects. We're looking for issues with the roof, the AC, plumbing, electrical, or structural. Depending on how you negotiated the offer, ask for credits for material issues that came up on the inspection. And make sure you hire a home inspector who offers warranties on their inspections in case anything happens on the property after you close. Some inspection details. You want to make sure that no matter what, you get an inspection. You may not want to make it part of your contract in the sense of you won't ask for any repairs, but knowing if there's anything wrong with the property, it's imperative before you buy a property. You want to know what's going on. So how do you conquer the appraisal? Let's say the contract price is $500,000 and the appraisal price is the same. You will proceed ahead. If the home appraises low, this can get tricky. And in most cases, you can go back and ask the seller to lower the price at the appraised value. Now, if they're serious, they may consider this. And they may not. So you would have to opportunity to negotiate. Perhaps they'll let you work with them and maybe you'll meet each other halfway. You'll pay a little bit over appraised. This is something that the realtors can work out on the buyer's behalf. And if it appraises higher, then bing, 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 bada boom, you have instant equity, which is a beautiful thing. What if it appraises low? Well, the bank will only finance a property what it appraises at. Anything else, you either renegotiate, cancel, or pay above. Those are your choices. And if you want the home bad enough, you have to make a decision which one will best work for you. Inspection details. We have to know that sometimes it's the big ticket items that are really what's important on your inspection detail. You can't look at all the little things. You have to look at the big picture and the cost of repairs for the big items. So I would always make sure when you get that report, and it sometimes is a very big report, really only concentrate on the big ticket items, if there are any. So once you go through your inspection period, so let's just say typically you put in a contract, the offer is accepted within 24 hours. At that point, you have on that contract, you have written how many days you are allowing for the inspection period. It's common here in Northeast Florida to do a 7 to 10 day inspection period. And as a realtor, I have a list of trusted inspectors I have used. I would send you that list. You would do your due diligence, call those inspectors, find out what they're offering, if they're available, what their prices are, and you make the decision on who you're going to hire. Once you hire the inspector, in most cases, I will be there at the inspection, and the future homeowner can also be there. And we are there to see what they find and to just be able to look at the house again. So it's a great opportunity to see the house again. So once you're going through your inspection, your inspector will more than likely send you a report within 24 hours. Once you get that report, we read over it. I read my copy, you read yours, and then we have a phone call meeting and go over what on that inspection that you want fixed, replaced, repaired, or perhaps they will give you a concession. So sometimes what the homeowner will do, instead of repairing something, they'll give you dollars towards the repair at closing. So you'll have money to do it yourself. And that might work out in your benefit because then, for example, let's just say a toilet was cracked. So instead of them replacing the toilet, you can go ahead and replace it on your own once you move in. And then you get to pick out what you like. So after this stage and all the repairs and negotiations for the repairs are done, we're in the same process. We're getting closer to the clear to close. So once the lender and the title both give the clear to close, then things are going to start moving quite quickly. We'll do the final walkthrough the morning of the closing or the night before. We want to make sure that home is in good condition before you sign on the dotted line. And then you'll wire the remaining cash to close to the title company. So Florida is a title company, is where we do most of our closes. And then you'll go to the title company, you'll sign your closing documents, which usually takes about less than an hour. And then you have to make sure you bring your photo ID and At that point, they will give you your keys once everything goes through. So where buyers get stuck. I should wait one more year because I don't feel ready. Schedule your consultation. Waiting longer can end up costing you thousands more dollars than you'll be able to save. The first step is to schedule your consultation so at least you know exactly what you need to be ready to buy. I'm going to wait till the market crashes. Market is not showing any indication that it's going to crash. It's showing that the prices are going to go up and the interest rates will probably start going down. I would not wait. Pricing of houses is going up. I'm going to go with the first realtor I can think of. Well, choosing the right agent is very imperative. Selecting the right agent is the difference between getting the house you want and never being able to buy. This is a business decision, not just a personal one. So choose an agent that will have your back at every step. I don't know if I have enough money saved. This is usually a big, big obstacle for people. Find a house you love. Remove all the might, could, and possibly by connecting with a lender now, so you don't have to wonder. They can't sell you anything anyways until you find a house you love. I'm not sure if my credit is good enough. Talk to a lender to discover your budget. Lenders use the fear of not shopping around to get you to commit to using them. Talking to a lender to discover your financial situation will affect you by less than 5 points and will remove tons of questions. So don't be afraid to talk to the lender. They can tell you where you're at. And because they've helped so many people, they could probably tell you a few tips on how to improve your credit if there are a few little issues. I don't know where to start, so I'm just going to continue holding off until I feel ready. Procrastination is not good. Taking the first steps towards your dream home. Sometimes you just have to take the first step and talk to an agent who you trust to guide you. Our objective was for you to feel confident negotiating the best deal on a property without having to give up your firstborn child and your left arm. If we achieve that, give me a yes in the comments, or if you're watching this recording after, make sure you send me a message. Right now, you may be feeling more excited. I know I am. So I'll handle the rest. My job is to give you enough information to feel comfortable and confident making a great decision and to worry about the rest of the details. You don't have to. Let me help you do that. Getting the clear to close. When you choose me to have your back, here's what you get. Home buying blueprint. This blueprint will recap everything you've learned here and help you keep track of every step during your purchase. Home warranty. When you work with one of our recommended inspectors, make sure you find out if they offer the warranty for their inspection. Money Playbook. The Money Playbook is a 30-plus page guide that helps you work through everything you need to know. And it's your guide to get your finances in order so you're ready to purchase. Vendor list. I've spent so many years building relationships to find the best vendors in everything from a roofer to a personal organizer. I also rely on my colleagues who've used many of these as well. And we compiled this great list out of experience that we've actually had. So that is something we offer you. The VIP agreement. The VIP agreement is a written agreement between us outlining all the things that I promised to you in exchange, asking for your loyalty as a client. What's next? Book your consultation. 1. Complete the buyer intake form and upload your pre-qualifications. 2. 3. Attend your consultation with any other decision makers. 4. We'll review your intake form, set up your property search, and set up your shopping time frame. That is all you need to do. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this entire workshop. Make sure you leave comments below, click all the links you need to get onto my calendar so you can get this started for you. And I look forward to guiding you through this process. And I can't wait to hand you the keys to your new property.